everyone for calling in. Great call today. Joining us will be Amir Khan, Chris Algieri, Paulie Malignaggi, and Danny O'Connor, all in exciting bouts at the Barclays Center on May 29th, PBC on Spike. Just a quick note, tickets are available at Barclays Center. The event is promoted by DeBella Entertainment and Star Boxing. The tickets are $250, $150, $75, and $45. Not including service charges, taxes, and they are all on sale now. You can go to barclayscenter.com, ticketmaster.com, or at the American Express box office at the Barclays Center. As I mentioned, this is a great show, and I'm going to turn it over to our moderator now, Lou DeBella, president of DeBella Entertainment. Also joining us on the call in between the fighters will be Brett Yormark, CEO of Barclays Center, and John Slusser, Senior Vice President of Sports for Spike. So, Lou, take it from here, please.
Thank you, Kelly. It's a great card that's going to be on Spike Television at 9 p.m. Eastern Time / Pacific Time on Friday night, the 29th of May at the Barclays Center. The first bout will feature the anticipated return of Brooklyn's own Paulie Malignaggi to the ring after over a year layoff. Very few guys in boxing can claim to be more Brooklyn than Paulie Malignaggi, and he's got his hands full in a bout with Danny O'Connor. Danny's a very tough kid who's really hungry for this fight. This is a matchup between an Italian-American and an Irish-American, a kid from New York and a kid from Boston, and it has the makings of a terrific fight. We're going to get to Danny first. He has to run to an appointment, so Danny's going to say a few words, and then we're going to open up to a few questions for Danny before he leaves, and then we'll turn it over to Paulie. So, Danny, could you say a few words, please, and then we'll get a few questions for you.
Yeah, how's it going, guys? I just want to thank everyone for being here, and I'm very excited about this opportunity to fight Paul and to come down to New York and showcase my skills at the Barclays Center. I've worked my whole career for this, and I put a lot of effort and a lot of sacrifice in my life to get here, and I'm very excited and I'm ready for the task at hand.
We'll open up now to some questions for Danny.
Thank you. If you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. This will place your question in the order it was received. Once again, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad now. Our first question comes from Mike Woods with Science.
Hey, this question is for Danny. Danny, I'm wondering, in a situation where you're fighting a guy who in his last fight was TKO'd, was stopped, what makes you think of coming in a different way that you ordinarily might? Really target him and maybe be more aggressive than usual, being that he was stopped in his last outing?
No, I don't. Anything can happen at any given night in boxing. That's what we do. We get punched in our face. So because of that, I'm not looking at anything differently. Paul had some time off to recover and recoup. So, I'm expecting Paul at his best. I want him at his best because the better he is, the better challenge that lies in front of me, the more excited that makes me. And so that's, my game plan is going to be my game plan regardless of the outcome of his last fight.
All right, good stuff. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Our next question comes from Louis Destino Jr. with Black Star News.
Hi, Danny O'Connor, DCLO at Black Star News, New York. Welcome to New York. I don't know if it is the first time you're in New York, but welcome anyway. The Boston-New York rivalry, as I see it, in Brooklyn. But my question here is, what was your reaction when your name was picked? I was saying you're fighting Paulie Malignaggi and a former world champion. You think it was a joke, or you finally getting a shot at an elite fighter that will springboard you to other 47-pounders?
Well, I was excited right off the rip. I mean, that's what I've been working my whole career for, is that shot at something big. And to be able to match my skills up against someone like Paul with his resume, I mean, that's what excites me. I get up for that type of challenge. So, I wanted to make sure that everything was, I didn't want to get my hopes up in case something fell through, because I know boxing, anything can happen. But as I got more and more into it and more real, excitement. It's all about excitement. I've been working a very long time to get to this spot. I put in a lot of work, and I deserve to be here, and I'm excited to take this chance and to showcase my skills against Paul.
Right. You're an ex-Olympian, and you have a tremendous amateur record, 110 wins and only 11 losses. Is that a part of the training ground that you've had to put you into this position now?
I think with anything in life, I mean, experience is going to get you places. The more experience you have, the more comfortable you're going to be, the more savvy you'll be. And I think along with that, with the type of person that I am, my work ethic, and how hard I've worked, it's got me far so far.
So this victory over Paulie, as you expected, will put you on top of the radar charts for the other 47-pounders around me, because you have a Grand Central community of 47-pounders. Is that what you look for? Are you looking for?
It's not even in my mind, man. I don't look at all past Paul. I mean, he's a talented fighter, and I'm focused on the task at hand, and that's Paul. That's the only thing I'm thinking about.
Can we move to another question, please? Thank you.
And the last question for Danny comes from Sean Cross with the Boxing Insider.
Hi, Danny. First off, congratulations on your big opportunity. This certainly is a big step up, but you do have that great amateur career. Just some more technical questions. Paulie's fast. How do you intend to deal with his speed?
Hopefully I'll be able to neutralize that speed by having my own speed. I'm not too slow myself, so I think it's going to be a battle of the minds.
Okay. Thank you very much, and again, all the best.
I'd just like to acknowledge Ken Casey of the Dropkick Murphys, the legendary Boston-based Irish rock band who heads Murphys Boxing. They're Danny's promoter. Now I'm about to introduce a man that I know very well for a very long time, and probably didn't think I'd be making this announcement. But Paulie, would you like to say a few words?
Hey guys, what's up? What's going on? Sorry, I was chewing my food. I'm happy to be here. I'm excited about fighting Barclays again. I've gotten the desire to fight again for the past year, just little by little. At first it was almost nothing, and then the desire kind of started growing more and more. So I think we're up to this point, and then once you sign a fight, and you see the event in front of you, and you start seeing things like the teleconference that we're doing now and all this stuff, kind of starts to resonate in your mind that, it's coming up and it's close, and so the excitement kind of builds. So I'm happy to be a part of this event and be a part of the show, and I thank everybody involved with it.
Once again, if you would like to ask a question or have a comment, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. This will place your question in the order it was received. Once again, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad now. And our first question comes from Greg Logan with Newsday.
Hi, Paulie. So you've gotten off to a great start in your broadcasting career. Does this take anything away from what you're achieving in broadcasting, or slow your development that way, or do you feel like you can manage both things side by side?
This has been a training camp where I'm kind of getting it all down pat together. It's basically a training camp where I haven't had as much work to do as I have this time around in the past, but the reason I know I still have the passion for this is because I still make time to train every day. I still find the time to prepare adequately every day. It's not always easy with the broadcasting. Throughout the course of my career, it was always, hey, you got to fight. Okay, shut everything down and focus on the fight. And now it's not like that anymore. And I think that just comes with age. You kind of get into new things in your life and whatnot. But if this was even a couple of years ago, I don't think I would have been able to handle it. But I think, I'm at a place in my life where I'm more mature, and I'm able to compartmentalize things the proper way. And I think for that reason, I don't mind it, and I think the passion kind of shows in and of itself because, if I didn't really want to do this, trust me, I would just do the broadcasting and then I would half-ass it on my training. But, I especially last week, it was challenging, but I noticed every single day I was able to get in my training somehow, some way. At least one workout a day, a lot of time 2 workouts a day. So that shows to me that I still have the passion behind it because, when there are times when you don't want to train and you still go out and do it, it's because you have that victory in your mind and you want to persevere and you want to excel at everything you do. And I'm that kind of person that wants to do that. So I think in the end, I'll decide after this fight. I plan on winning the fight and looking good. I've been feeling good in the training camp, and I feel like after the fight, I'm just taking it one fight at a time. I'm not looking past Danny or anything. It's kind of a situation where it's a little bit different in my career now, but at the same time, I'm still enjoying the ride.
And also, if I could ask, at some point when you were doing the broadcasting, was there something about being on the sidelines that kind of inspired the feelings that you'd like to be back on the other side of the ropes again? Was it a particular fight or a particular moment that inspired that?
No, I wouldn't say it was anything in particular. I don't say that was part of the reason. I guess at first it was part of the reason why I didn't want to fight again. I would see these fights from close range and see the violence of it and these crazy exchanges, and I would just be like, man, better these guys than me. I'm done, And then little by little, as I started feeling better, and I would start seeing the same kind of stuff, and I would focus on the crowd reaction and the adrenaline that these fighters are feeling, and I'd be like, I was starting to slowly change my thinking pattern, and it was starting to slowly become more like, wow, I gotta feel this again. I gotta feel that rush again, man. It's something missing in my life, So, the transition kind of came slowly. I don't think it was one particular moment or one particular situation. It just kind of came slowly, and it just developed. And little by little. At first, I even got back in the gym, but I just wanted to keep my weight down. And then, before you know it, you start to hit a couple of bags. I guess that's with any boxer in general. You start to hit the bag a little bit. You start to loosen up a little bit, and before you know it, you kind of start feeling it. And I suppose when you retire from boxing, you probably should stay away from the boxing gym if you're a fighter, because otherwise you're going to want to fight.
Thank you very much, Paulie.
You got it.
Our next question comes from John Gormley with the Brooklyn Day Eagle.
Hey, Paulie, how much of a factor was obviously the result of your previous fight in kind of motivating you to kind of come back and at least have a chance to go out with a win, if in fact that's what ultimately occurs here?
No, that wasn't. My last fight had no bearing on any of this. The only bearing my last fight had on me was the decision maybe not to fight anymore. When I went into the fight with Sean Porter, I didn't decide that this would be my last fight. I wasn't thinking any of that stuff at all, actually. So when it happened, when the result happened, I was more so thinking, okay, maybe this is it. So it wasn't really that particular result as far as me not being able to accept it and then having to fight again. It was more so, I feel good. Going into before the Sean Porter fight, I hadn't been looking too bad. I had a competitive split decision, lost to Broner. I had a dominant victory over Judah, so I was kind of on a good roll. And then, I had one bad night, and I said, do I really want to chalk up my entire career to that bad night and let myself be done, or do I give myself another shot? It wasn't about I don't want to go out on a loss. It was more about, I still got something left. That the Porter fight doesn't take away what I've done in the past 2-3 years in and around that time. So when you have a loss like that and you take a year off, and people suddenly expect that's where you are and that's it. So I think people are going to draw their own conclusions. I don't feel like the actual result of the fight was what had any bearing on my on what I wanted to do. I just feel like I'm alive and I want to live. And for me, living is feeling that adrenaline rush, feeling the rise, the rush of being in the ring and competing. I'm a competitive person, and I think that's more what was a motivator. I'm not dead, so I don't need to live like I'm dead. Some people choose to live like they're dead. I don't need to live like I'm dead. I got these options where I can really feel life, and nothing makes me feel more alive than having the adrenaline rush of being in a boxing ring, in front of a packed crowd.
Awesome. Thank you, Paulie, and good luck to you.
Thanks.
Our next question comes from Kel Danby with Black Sports Online.
Hi, Paulie. Quick question. Depending on how you look in this fight, if you come out, you perform to your highest level with your capabilities, and if you win handedly, what's next for you? Do you kick back into that mode where you think you can go and challenge for a title, or you want to fight one of the better fighters in the division again? What's next after that?
Yeah. Honestly, it hasn't even crossed my mind. It hasn't even crossed my mind because I want to see not only how I look in the fight, how I feel in the fight. I want to be able to. I want to be able. There's a lot of things I have to decide. You know what I'm saying? Like, I may look good and say, you know what, I'm good to go again. I may look good and say, you know what, this is just taking too much of my time away from other things that I want to enjoy in life. Or I may feel the way I feel now, where, you know what, I need to feel this rush again. I need to feel this adrenaline rush again. I don't know, because I haven't given it that much thought yet. But I've only focused on Danny O'Connor right now, and I'm focused on May 29th. So I feel like those are possible things that would be crossing my mind. But in reality, I haven't given it enough thought to really have made that kind of decision. So I don't know yet. I'm focused only on the fight right now. And so, anything post May 29th, I'll decide on post May 29th.
All right, one more question. You said that, you started training, you're feeling good, and you had no problem training leading up to this fight. How much fun are you having, again, with boxing? Is it something where you feel rejuvenated?
Yeah. I feel like, I enjoy a good challenge in life, a challenge that I enjoy. If you put me in a chemistry class, it'll be a challenge, but I don't think I'll enjoy it too much. You know what I'm saying? So boxing is a challenge for me, but it's a challenge that I enjoy. I enjoy pushing my body to the limits and pushing my mind to its limits, and seeing if I can succeed or not, and testing myself. So, of course, I've been enjoying it. Sometimes people look at me and tell me, "Man, why would you want to fight again? You're good, you're set, and you got good money coming in." But it's not about the money. Obviously it's always about the money, but it's not about that. That's not the main motivator here. The main motivator is, again, to feel alive. Like I said earlier, I can be dead when I'm 6 feet under. I'm not dead yet. So I don't need to live like that. Right now, I wanna feel that rush of adrenaline again and just feel alive. And while I can still do it, I will do it.
All right, thanks, Paulie. Good luck.
You get.
Our next question comes from Joseph Spazuski with Brooklyn Carrier.
Hi, Paulie. How are you?
Hey,
Just what made this particular fight maybe the right opportunity to get back into the ring, and what does the New York-Boston rivalry kind of add to this fight?
The opportunity to be back in the ring could have came against anyone. It wasn't exactly by myself. It was just a situation where, folks, you want to fight again? Okay, we're going to make a fight for you, and then being Danny O'Connor. The New York-Boston rivalry, I've actually thought of it a couple times over the camp, and I was like, New York-Boston is Italian versus Irish. It's funny because I feel like we're like 60 years too late. If this was like 1955 instead of 2015, we probably could have had this in like a huge stadium, and everybody would be into it, and everybody would be going crazy, and it could be a real cool event. Not that it's not going to be a cool event anyway, but what I'm saying is the perception of the event is a bit different now than it would have been back in the day when the Italian and Irish rivalry, the New York-Boston rivalry, would have been even bigger. But nonetheless, it's in that way it gives the fight a bit of a throwback feel, and that's always cool with me.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Paulie. Good luck.
You got it.
And our last question for Paulie is from Eddie Goldman with No Holds Barred.
Thank you very much. Hi, Paulie. How you feeling today?
What's up, Eddie? How you doing?
Good. Let me ask you, since there's been a lot of discussion about your overall career and you're doing the broadcasting at the same time as fighting, what do you know about Danny O'Connor? He hasn't fought a lot of the top-level opponents that you have. So what do you see as your strengths and his weaknesses in this fight?
Well, I know a lot about Danny. I've known Danny for quite some time, and I obviously he hasn't fought at the level that I fought at, so obviously the experience is in my favor. But I know he had a very good amateur career, and he's a solid competitor, and he had a national Golden Gloves title. I think he was an Olympic alternate as well in 08. So I know the feeling of when you have that kind of amateur career, you expect yourself to break through in the pros. And, you know, I had a good amateur career. I was a national champion as well. And so, you know, I remember turning pro with the expectancy that I would have a successful professional career as well. Because, you know, at that point, you're just used to winning, and you're just used to winning at a high level. And I feel like Danny has that expectancy of himself less. Maybe it's come a little slower, but I feel like this is an opportunity for him where he's kind of got that chance to finally show that, you know, all the things that he got to show in the amateurs, where he was a really good amateur and he was considered a top guy, you know. So, although I have the professional experience, you know, this is a kid with a lot of amateur experience. I love him. So for that reason, I can't take him lightly, and I don't take him lightly because I know what he's feeling. You know, I know what it's like to have had that successful amateur career and then go into your first big professional fight and have that motivation, have those goosebumps, and be ready for it. You know, so I kind of know what he's feeling. I kind of know what's going through his mind, both the good and the bad. And in that way, I guess I have the advantage because I'm prepared for that kind of thing, but. Because I've already been through it. At the same time, you know, you can never underestimate a hungry fighter, and Danny's a hungry fighter.
Are you able to just focus on him as an opponent in this fight rather than all these broader questions about your career arc and all that type of thing?
Yeah, of course. No, I'm preparing for a slick boxer named Danny O'Connor who kind of can become aggressive at times or can sit back on the back foot at times, you know, with a southpaw, you know. So, you know, I'm not looking at all the other stuff. I'm looking at tactically the kind of fight that he's going to bring, or he might bring the kind of fight that I intend to bring, my game plan. You know, every day I'm in the gym working on that. So certainly all these other distractions are nice to talk about, but in the end, of course, I'm working on the exact plan in the gym every day.
Okay, good luck in the fight.
Thanks.
Thank you, Paulie. I'd like to acknowledge John Slusser, the Senior Vice President of Sports for Spike, and everybody at Spike TV. The first PBC on Spike card was March 13th, and it was a terrific show, and I'm going to continue that streak.